Okay, we're going to start on Monday's homework. This is the gray packet that at the top says session one math, no calculator, but we're not going to worry about the no calculator. We're just doing these. Okay, the first one is a really important concept that we talked about in class. Okay, we've done this. If you remember, if you were not absent on the day I did the puppet show, we talked about the fact that if I am multiplying or dividing with positives and negatives, that if the sign is the same, if I have two positives or two negatives, they get along. They like each other. It's a positive result. If it's different, if we have a negative and a positive, okay, that the result is negative. They do not get along. Negatives and positives do not like each other. Okay, so I'm looking now at problem number one. I have on the one side 5/8 equals negative 5 over negative 8. So inside those parentheses, I have two negative signs, right? I have two negative signs. They get along. They get along. That means that's positive. Okay, so then it's negative, because the negative's outside the parentheses, positive 5/8. Okay? In the second one, I have negative 3 over negative 4, right? Two negatives. Do they get along? Yes. That's positive. Now, in the third one, there's something a little different, but same rule apply. It's the same rules. Look, I have a negative inside and a negative outside. Yep, they get along. They get along. They like each other. Okay, in the last one, I have one negative here, and two in here. Okay, so that one negative means it's a negative and a positive. Nope, don't get along. That's negative. But on the other side, there's those two negatives, and they're having a happy time there. Okay, they are liking each other. So that would be positive. Okay, so those are my hints. So let's remember that if I have a negative and a negative, it's going to be a positive. If I have a negative and a positive, it's going to be negative. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out which side equals the other side. Okay, and there's only one answer there. Okay, so now I'm going to problem 2. Now, order of operations tells us that we need to multiply first. Okay, so here's what I have. I have 5 plus 5 minus, and remember that negative stays with the integer, okay, that it's with. So that's negative 5 times 10%, which is going to be negative 50%. Okay, and then I'm going to follow order of operations and continue through, remembering that there's no more parentheses, there's no more exponents, right? There's no more parentheses, there's no more exponents, there's no more multiplication or division, but there is adding and subtracting, and it's from left to right. Okay, so I'm just going right along that equation. Okay, and number 4, I'm looking at that, and they're asking what P is. P is the price of the pizza. And so it says that he paid a total for 4 pizzas. He paid a total of $48. But, he had a coupon for $4. So those pizzas, the 4 pizzas, had to be more than $48. It had to be more than that because he took away that $4 to get to be that 48. So where did he start? Okay, so this something minus 4 is equal to 48. Okay, so I'm finding out what that is. What is that number? Okay, and that 4p is going to equal that number. Okay, that's going to equal that number. So whatever that is, I'm going to divide it by 4 because I want to know what 1p is. Okay, so I'm finding out what number I take away 4 from to get 48. And then I divide that number by that 4 to get what 1p is. Great. Any questions? Text, call, hang at me.